Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 53. Today, I feel it's just really important to speak my heart more than ever. I feel like sometimes our minds, our imaginary selves, our egos, they try to protect us from the truth or something. And when I'm meditating, I'm realizing how often I'm trying to protect myself from feeling something, and that I'm meditating just so that I can feel something different. And how, of course, that's the opposite of the movement of healing. That's the opposite of the movement of awakening. The true movement of awakening and healing is being open to feeling everything with no resistance. And so sometimes I'll spend an hour and a half, it seems like, just trying to feel something different, trying to let go, not so that I can surrender to what I'm feeling, but to let go so that I can go into a different realm, or go into my energetic subtle body so that I can just feel really good. And what I notice when I do that is I'll notice a numbing in my body and a deadening feeling. I'll notice a disconnection from grace. And so I'll sit there with this disconnection and this numbing feeling, and I'll ask myself, why do I feel so numb? Why do I feel so deadened? And I'll try to just go deeper and deeper and let go deeper and bring more energy in. And that has some effect, but it doesn't get to that core numbness that you're feeling, And then towards the end I start realizing, why am I saying that it's not okay to feel a certain way? Why am I saying that it's better to feel this way than this way? Why am I putting a barrier between me and my sadness, between me and my heaviness? Because the truth is, this sadness, these lower emotions, they're not heavy. We only make them heavy when we resist them. That's what makes them feel heavy. But when we open to them, when we just let them flow, then they have this lightness to them. Then they have this movement. They move. And we feel the support of them. We feel the grace of them. And then we realize, oh, it's all grace. The sadness, the pain, the grief, the anger, the fear, this is all grace. And that when we cut ourselves off from the emotions that we don't necessarily want to feel, that's when we cut ourselves off from grace. And so towards the end of my meditation, I was wondering, why do I not want to feel these? Why do I say it's not good to feel these emotions and it's better to feel these? And I realized that's judgment. That is the movement of the mind. It's the mind that tells us that certain emotions shouldn't be felt. And it's the mind that tries to cling to other emotions, to the lighter feeling ones. So it's identification with the mind and its unconscious beliefs, the unconscious beliefs that say these are bad and these are good. Anything in judgment is unconscious. So when it says these are awful and these are the ones we need, that is what creates the imbalance. It's the unconscious identification with the mind that creates an energetic imbalance within, that creates numbness within. Because when we're identified with the mind, well, then we're going to suppress certain emotions and tell ourselves we shouldn't feel them. And then we cut ourselves off from grace, we cut ourselves off from ourself, from our heart, and that's when the numbness ensues. So it was interesting towards the end of my meditation realizing, oh, I've been in identification with my mind. I've been believing my mind's unconscious beliefs that I should be feeling something different than I'm feeling right now. And I'll end with this. whenever we get caught up in judgment, whenever we say this is awful, whether it's something we're feeling within us, whether we say this sadness is awful, or whether we say this circumstance outside of us, if something happens and we say that's awful, what we are doing is we are perpetuating more of the same. Because when we label something, when we're in judgment, we're in separation. And when we're in separation, we're perpetuating more separation. And it's the separation that caused the awful thing to happen. It's feeling the separation that makes you feel like sadness is awful, because you've created a separation between, light and dark. You've created polarities. And so what you do is you're perpetuating more of the same. Because in truth, love is not separate. Love is inclusive. There's no judgment. You cannot be in unconditional love and have judgment. It just they don't exist together. You can have discernment, but not judgment. And that's something that I've been finding in myself. When my heart's closed and I'm in my mind, it's because I'm in judgment. And today I was in judgment of what I was feeling in my meditation. And once I relaxed and released that judgment, then I could feel that wholeness come back. I could feel that balance. I could feel that movement come back. I could feel my connection to grace come back. And I could feel how it's all divine. This whole journey is divine. And that every feeling, every circumstance, whether we think it's amazing or awful, it all has its value. It's all divine and it's all God. And we're here not to just experience the ones our mind tells us we should experience. We're here to experience and to feel it all. And so, if you're feeling that numbness, if you're feeling that deadening feeling, if you're, know that you're in identification with mind, identification with thought, and see if you can relax that identification. See if you can relax your judgments about life. And when we relax our judgments about life, what happens is we invite more grace within us. We invite more. We allow ourselves to feel more. It's judgment that keeps us from feeling. And feeling is our superpower. Feeling is, the more deeply we can feel, the more deeply we know ourselves, and the more deeply connected to ourselves we are. And the more connected to ourselves we are, the deeper we go in, the more that source projects out. And we can only go as deep within as we're willing to feel. And that's why feeling is like a superpower, because it allows us to go deep within. And it's really our feelings. We can ride our feelings to new realities. So we can feel our sadness, and as we feel it, it takes us somewhere new. That's what it's here for. It's here to help you expand into something new. Or your anger, or your anxiety. It's feeling these, it's allowing ourselves to feel these fully, that takes us into newer realities with more grace and more connection and more love. But it's when we push these away, it's when we identify with the mind and resist these feelings, that we stay where we are, because we still need to learn. We still need to learn to not resist, to let go of judgment. And so, that's what happened today. For an hour and a half, I was resisting my sadness. I was resisting things that my mind was telling me I shouldn't be feeling. And guess what? I was experiencing more of the same. It was staying exactly the same. But once I allowed myself to feel fully, once I allowed myself to really let go of judgment and identification with the mind, that's when this sadness took me to a new reality, to the reality I'm experiencing right now, of this deep tranquility and serenity and peace. And I feel so much grace right now. And it's just teaching me every day that it's all one. It's all one. Everything you're feeling, it's all God. It's all divine. Okay, day 53. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here with me, and I will see you on day 54. Namaste.